I remember the time when I didn't know the Lord.
Yeah, I was a lost kid, with no purpose, no hope.
I came in broken. I was high. I was drunk. I was lost.
I remember a time in my life when I was full of hate. So I was filled with depression. I was cutting myself. I was drinking a lot. I was an alcoholic when I was 20 years old and having blackouts, not remembering what I was doing, and smoking weed and just messing around. And my life was just going crazy. And I remember feeling like my life was so out of control.
I became pretty much a drug addict of this generation. I smoked a lot of methamphetamine in my life. I didn't want to live no more. There's sometimes I even wanted to take my life.
I remember when I was 14 years old, in and out of juvenile hall, just lost.
I remember when I was younger, my mom would tell me stories about how when she was pregnant with me, she was in an abusive relationship. She was kind of from house to house. She had nowhere to go.
My parents were drug addicts and alcoholics, so it forced me just to go and act up in the streets and in school, getting kicked out of school.
My mother was actually a drug addict. She had a $300 a day habit.
I remember being in a broken family, not seeing my dad as much as I wanted to.
My dad was a gang member. My mom was a single mom, a single teenage mom.
I would always see pictures and hear stories of my dad and just how he was all in drugs and he was all involved in gangs and stuff.
She was just lost and she was out on drugs and gangs, and she had abandoned her kids. And I remember when God called her into the women's home,
and just this just God and this ministry really just helped him out. And honestly, if it wasn't for this ministry, it's who knows where I would be,
And one day Victory Outreach opened up the doors for her, and she was able to go into the women's home, and it was right there from day one where I was able to be raised into things of God, where I was raised with the values and principles that Victory Outreach instills within us.
I gave my life to the Lord at the age of 19 years old. And from that moment, this vision that God's given to this ministry, Victory Outreach, became real in my life.
It was just an amazing experience for me to be 20 years old and just loving God and finally saying yes to what He had for me.
And God did a work in my life. He began to show me that I had a calling. He began to show me that He wanted to use my life to go back and do the same things that our elders did back in the day and reach those drug addicts, those gang members.
I sincerely know that is a part of our roots in Victory Outreach, believing in people, no matter their age, race, nationality, or background. I was a young junior hire that was discipling young people, and I will never forget that.
I remember all the rallies and all the stories of all the radical Victory Outreach and the Christians and stuff like that, and in the days on Whittier Boulevard and things in East LA. But I remember when I got into the youth, wanting to be a part of that history and wanting my family to have that and wanting my future to have those memories of being radical and being Christian.
I remember hearing the stories about Pastor Sonny and Sister Julie, sacrificing so much to see others saved.
And it's just an honor and a privilege just to be a part of something great. This is really it's a family. It's a true family, this ministry.
I will never forget what God has done, and I just thank God for this ministry because it gave me a purpose. It gave me life. It gave me hope in my life, and I would never imagine my life anywhere else but with God. And I thank God that He has called me to this ministry.
I'm so grateful to Pastor Sonny. I thank you so much, and Pastor Rick and all of our elders that have gone before us and paved the way.
And I believe that we are a cutting-edge ministry, and I thank God for this, for our elders that went before us, and they paved the way for a man like me.
And I thank God for Victory Outreach. I thank God for our legacy. I thank God for what He's going to continue to do in this generation. We'll always stick to the roots. We'll never forget what you have done. We'll never forget the principles and values. Why? Because God has set us apart for this beautiful time to reach a generation like us, a lost generation, a hurting generation, and we'll never forget it.
This generation will honor our legacy by continuing the vision that our founders and our leaders have started. We will not forget the price and the sacrifice that they have paid, and that we will continue to sacrifice and pay the price, and so that we could reach young people in the inner cities of the world and let them know that Jesus has a plan for their life. We will remember